So Google developers an AI that will actually play games with you. Okay? So Google is developing a DeepMind-based AI that could end up being the ultimate virtual co-op buddy. It's not some play-to-win opportunity or super bot, but a general, instructable game-playing AI agent. AI agent. Okay? Google presented a research article on what it calls the scalable, instructable multi-world agent, or SEMA. Okay? The general idea is that it's learning AI that can follow verbal instructions and understand the virtual world it's in. Rather than functioning as a hard-coded AI opponent or bot will give a grown, accustomed to over decades, Google's SEMA promises to be more natural and human-like gaming companion. This doesn't sound weird or scary at all, right? Who needs friends anymore? Who needs to go outside? Who needs to actually have actual human contact? Google partnered with 8 game studios to test out the SEMA model in games including Valheim, Goat Simulator 3, and No Man's Sky. These are open-world games chosen to teach SEMA to learn general gaming skills. The current version of SEMA is capable of performing around 600 basic skills, including navigation, objects, interaction, and menu use. As a player of No Man's Sky, I'm very intrigued by the possibilities of anyone that has played the game knows the resource gathering and construction of the tedious process, and telling an AI player to go out and find oxygen or build a base would really help to reduce the grinding aspects of it. I prefer exploration and things like dogfights or more traversing landscapes to find X in order to craft Y to build Z. SEMA would really help with that. I really like playing survival games where I get to grind for things, but I don't really like the survival part or the grinding part. But I really do like the survival games that I go out and find things, but I don't want to find the actual things. What? I'm confused. Let me continue. The early results look promising. Google says its trained SEMA agent performed almost as well as an unseen game as an agent specifically trained for it. That is key, as such an agent is also useful for real gamers. A typical game playthrough lasts 10 to hundreds of hours. An AI companion needed to playable from opening scenes, otherwise players just won't bother. So let me get this straight. Let's just say this is in games now, right? Now I turn on my game, and I just log in, and I turn my Xbox on, I turn my PC on, I want to go play some No Man's Sky. I say, hey, SEMA, can you go get oxygen for me? And they're like, okay, let me go do that for you. And then it goes off. And then I go to sleep. I go do my day. I come back, and I'm like, hey, what you got for me, SEMA? And SEMA's like, yeah, here you go. Here's a gajillion things. And then I can just do what I want. You didn't even play the game. Wouldn't it be just simpler? Wouldn't it just be simpler to play creative mode and then just do what you want? I'm confused by this. I'm just confused by this, right? Back in the day, SimCity, you would have to build a city to make money in that city. But then there was a cheat code where you can get unlimited money to build the city. But then you built the city, you could do what you want, and you weren't doing anything in the game because the game was actually a building simulator. But then you surpassed that because you had all the money, so you just built the city, and then you stopped building the city, and then you just built random shit, then you got bored, then you stopped playing. Am I wrong here? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the outsider here for seeing this. Okay. While it's impressive and very interesting feat, I remain skeptical. Large language AI models are very good at doing things and based on knowledge, but the ability to react and adapt appropriately, behave in real time as a human does, remains limited. Just how good is the landing of a headshot on the other side of the map? Well, I don't know. I just saw someone just the other day talk about AI by next year will be smarter than humans. You know, so AI in video games is not a new concept. It goes back decades to things like boss fights, multiplayer bots, opponents and NPCs in single-player games, but they are hard to code for each game. Properly implement SEMA like AI could dramatically impact general gameplay, and it doesn't require source code access or API functionality. Okay, its intended relies on just 2 inputs, images on screen and instructions provided by user. Man, that sounds like Google's getting their hands in the gameplay, not as a companion for people to play the game, more than the developers can just make stuff happen without actually coding it. This sounds like a lot of people losing their jobs. Looks like Diablo is saved. Okay. Google emphasizes that the research is still in early phases, as learns that more games is expected to become more versatile and adaptable. Could your next co-op companion be AI? Is it actually useful at that? I look forward to seeing how technology develops and how it might impact the future on multiplayer games. Well, that's very interesting. I mean, again, as I speak about this and go, I play games for a reason. Because I want to play games. I want to get away from stuff. Now, obviously, Robert Jones in chat says, to be fair, grind sometimes is too high. Sure. But at that point, you have a choice of if you want to grind or not grind. At that point, if you don't want to grind, but you have an AI slave to go do it for you, then maybe you're not really interested in that game anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to grind anymore, then you're probably at your peak's end with that game. You're like, I don't really want to do this anymore. It's not fun anymore. So you stop playing. So now you're going to play the game continuously more because your AI is now doing all the work for you. And then you just get to come back and play. Maybe it's just time to go play a different game. AI isn't the solution here. Having options and balance of the grind is a better solution. But does it make sense? Think about this. People are looking at this and going, well, the grinding's too high. So the grinding would get better if I had AI do it for me. But then wouldn't the developers make the change? Wouldn't they nerf or buff things? Now that there's AI in the game, something that costs 1,000 resources can now cost 10,000 resources because now the person that's playing the game is not actually playing the game anymore. So now they're building games to interact with the AI that's in the game. You see what I'm saying? You guys are looking at it, well, it'll help me out. But then the developers will look at it and go, well, the person that it would take them this long to grind to get this many resources, but now they have AI to do it for them. Well, because they have AI to help them do it, it still takes this amount of time, but the player's not actually engaging anymore. So now we have to make it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more because they're not actually even playing the game. Just know this is AI open to the public. Makes you wonder what the military and the private companies have. I can't say or not say. 30, is this the games for Ginchi? Haha. It grinds too high for you? It's not the game for you anymore. Time to move on to another game. You'll enjoy more. That's what I'm saying, Canadian. Right? Like, if you're at a point where, like, it's like getting up for work. Right? A job that you hate. Right? That you liked at one point. A job that you hate. You get up in the morning, you're like, ugh. I don't want to go to work today. Right? Sometimes you're just tired of work that day. But sometimes you just hate that job. Right? And you need a change. You leave that job and you go get a better job and you feel better about it, right? If you're forcing yourself to play a game, but the grind is too much, but you're grinding that game and you're not enjoying it anymore, then it's time to put that game down. But some games kick you or ban you for AFK farming. Now they want to include it. Dumb. I play grindy games because I like doing it. That's my point for it, right? People that like doing it, play it. People that don't, this is like their savior. It could be useful for single-player games. Like a certain difficulty, AI just cheats. Where do you hold it to stop it? You know, Jones? Right? Like, you're saying single-player games, but obviously they'll put it in multiplayer games as well. I mean, think about it. Think about it. There's really no difference that what Palworld's doing right now. Right? Now, obviously, it's an AI, but it's coded. Hey, go chop down this tree. Hey, go do this. Like, you walk up to the thing, and you tell them. Like, you're not speaking it. You're telling them. You point your cursor at the tree and say, chop this tree down. And they go, okay. And they chop the tree down. Okay? That's a multiplayer game. It's a single player, but multiplayer game. Just means that some games will need to have an anti-cheat to detect this. But it wouldn't be an anti-cheat. It would literally be baked into the game. See, it's not just as simple as saying, oh, put this in because it'll be better. They put it in and then they'll adjust to that. They're combining cheating by just making it allowed. Yeah. Which, I'm okay, but at that point, if something's playing the game for me, then why am I playing the game? You know? It's like in old days, you know where you could pick a fighting game? You move your controller from one side or the other, right? You're like, I'm going to be on this team, I'm going to be on that team, right? Or I'm going to be on this fighter, and pick your fight. Or you don't pick anybody. And then the AI just fights itself, and you just watch it like a television thing, right? At that point, I'm not even playing the game anymore. I'm still enjoying it because I want to see like who's gonna win, type of thing. But you're not actually playing the game anymore. But that's it, Altern, right? Where do they draw the line of what they can do? If Google makes this AI, and then the AI can do it, and someone finds out, well, I can put this inside this game, and then it absolutely just learns or does, at that point, it's like the companies would look at it and go, well, how many people are playing our game? And would they know they're actual people or not? They're interacting. There's people playing the game. There's people doing stuff to make economies, getting the resources, selling it in the towns, right? Right? You're taking a macro, but you're making it to a learning thing. Like in the example that they give in the article, they're saying, oh, go tell them to go get oxygen in No Man's Sky, and then they'll just go farm oxygen. There's no difference in that than in Power World, where I say, go chop this tree. Click the marker, go get this, right? The same thing. It won't be great when the Call of Duty team of bots can headshot everyone across the map. Yeah, it's just a weird thing. I mean, obviously, there's always good and bad with everything. There's always good and bad. And you can always take, like, a knife is good. You can cut fruit with it, right? You can cut fruit and meats, and you can open things with it, right? But then there's the extreme where someone's like, well, you can't use a knife because knives can kill people, right? And then people kill someone with a knife, right? So there's good and bad about everything, okay? AI is good because it can help you do certain things. But then AI can be bad because someone abuses it and uses it for evil. I don't know. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think of this generative AI that Google's developing to play games with you or for you, right? With the patents that Sony has in the past that we've read and things like this, and where AI technology is going with ChatGPT and artwork and video games and all this other stuff, where do you stand on this stuff? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what we do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.